I was trying to keep the peace. I tried really hard to keep the peace, but you didn't like that, did you, Tyler? You didn't like that. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Season 7, Episode 2 of the Have and Have Nots. We are only on Episode 2, and it's on. It's on. Tyler, I tried to keep this nice. But, you don't want to keep it nice. Didn't I tell you that I wasn't going for any of those little funny little things that you do? And I'm just going to be quiet. Not this time. Sorry, I can't do it. I love you to death, but you out of order, bruh. You are out of order. Let's start off, before we even go into the show, commercials. Now, whose fault is this? Is this yours or is this Owen's fault? Because there's no reason why we're watching Episode 2 and you're giving us commercials for Episode 3. Commercials for Episode 3 should not be airing until we are completely done with Episode 2. So we're sitting here watching Episode 2. We haven't even addressed the fact of Jim and Catherine, but then we see a commercial with Catherine carrying out a whole storyline. So bloop, there that goes. I felt like I could just turn the TV off. I can just turn the TV off because I now know that Catherine is alive. And last week she was upside down in a tub of water and had been that way for a couple hours. I told you don't come back and tell me that she had turned into an amphibian. Commercials. You literally screwed up the delivery of your whole episode because of commercials. Are you freaking kidding me? Or is it that people that you execs who will probably never see this video, do you really think we're that stupid? Or do we just not count? This was just senseless. And somebody really dropped the ball. That's why I'm so late. I'm so late with this because I had to get myself prepared to be able to get through it because I was so pissed off about the handling of it. This is a shit show. As if some of the writing stuff is not bad enough. Now we got to battle with, we got to try to not see commercials. Because I do it on the internet. I try not to see posts of stuff. I try not to see, I don't watch the upcoming previews that they post on YouTube. I don't do any of that because I don't want to ruin the show for me. I want to sit down and watch the show. Maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe I've been on the planet too long. I want to sit down. I want the suspense. I want to not know what's going on until I'm sitting there watching the show the way it was in the 80s, the way it was in the 70s and the 90s. Maybe I'm asking too much with my old ass. But I do these things. I duck and dodge seeing things that ruin the show for me. But I'm literally watching the show. And who ruins it for me? Owen and Tyler. I'm going to give the blame to both of y'all. So Lady O, your people is messing up. And Mr. T, your people is messing up. Y'all need to get it together. Get it together. Anyway, let's go. See, I'm right back. I'm ready to turn this camera off now. Like, okay, what the hell with it? Because I done already ruined the whole review for you, right? I just let you know. Well, see, listen, I'm supposed to review it the way that I got it. Before I do my review, you know Catherine's alive. Before I seen the end of the show, Catherine, her ass was alive. So, here we go. Yeah, I gave it to you the way I got it. screwed up. I apologize. Own and Tyler ain't apologizing, but I, Spillitboy TV, I apologize for ruining the experience for my people. Mess. Anyway, so first thing, Benny is sickening. Benny is sickening because what we're finding, Benny is worse than Candace. Benny is low down and dirty. Low down and dirty. He was like, the way he was talking, oh, well, good, he's dead. And I mean, that was just, yes, Jim Cryer has done a whole lot of stuff, but to actually wish death upon a person and to actually talk that way, well, good, I hope he is dead. Then you keep the money and all that. That's supposed to be Candace. That's all cold like that. Not Benny. And that made me look at Benny strange. I'm like, Candace, you need to be looking at Benny because the way Benny talking, shit, he sound like he'll put a head out on you to get the money. You might need to be watching your baby brother. Sickening. He's sickening. He really got on my nerves in that whole thing. And then, come on, let's go. Now, you know, the mama done been through all kind of stuff. He don't know about the rape stuff. But just in general, in the last weeks, she's been through a whole lot. Let's go on up here and wake her up and set her on over there where the murdered people is so we can find out the tea. Benny don't give a shit about nobody but Benny. Sickening. Sickening. And I'm tired of looking at his face. He's starting to really irritate me. Moving on, they go and they get Hannah up. She's going on over there because I'm not waking up my mother to send her over to no murder scene or what I think is going to be a murder scene. I ain't doing that. If anything, trust me, I would have kept anybody from waking my mother up because you knew she was going to go running over there. Honey, I'd have dared anybody to wake her up. Honey, I'd have busted them in their shit. Anyway, moving on. Jeffrey and David is over there speaking with the cops and all that. Child. Jeffrey giving it all up. This is where my mother lives. This is where she get her nails done. She be over there for 3 hours. You go and pick her up over there. She did this. She had to do with this stuff. Then the cop starts telling about the criers. Again, a Tyler Perryism. The cops don't talk that much like that. You know, and then especially with the fact that David is a lawyer, or no, David is a judge. You know good and well, ain't no detective blurting out information like that. You know, because he wasn't talking directly to him. He just was talking in general, just being talky talk. I was like, okay, Tyler, whatever. We'll take it, whatever. But anyway, tells them about the criers. And then they run off. They in the middle of investigating shootings and bodies. And you just run on off. You know, Tyler Perryism. And what Jeffrey said, he said he would do it. He said he would do it. I'm like, now you incriminating folks. Ain't nobody paying attention. Ain't nobody writing nothing down. I'm like, oh, Tyler. Just lazy. Lazy damn writing. You couldn't think of no other way to get the information to them. A phone call would have sufficed. A phone call would have been fine. That bullshit that you wrote right there. Anyway, you wonder why we fuss at you. Benny and Candace. Benny gets over there to the house to pick up. Not Benny, I'm sorry. Yeah, Benny. Not Benny. No, Mitch. See, Benny done got on my damn nerves. Mitch gets over there to pick up Benny, and him and Candace have a little exchange. You know, we ain't got to go through a lot of it. You know what it is. Mitch loves Candace, honey. He let her know, I got your back with all his fineness, honey. And she's up there hugging him and rubbing on his back. I said, oh, Mitch, honey. So, child, and Benny comes down and was like, okay, get off my sister. I'm like, shut your goddamn ass up. Take some more time and get on his sister, honey. We like some Mitch, honey. Miss Candace. Anyway, but he let her know he had her back and whatever she need. You know, y'all know what it gives, child. Anyway, moving on. The phone rings, and it's Derek. Again. Tyler. Piss poor. Anyway, Derek calls. Just picks up the phone and calls. And he's like, can I speak to Hannah? No, you goddamn rapist. You ain't speaking to no goddamn Hannah. You know, Candace ends up telling, like, well, who's this? So the rapist gets to call people's house and start questioning people in the house. Really? Really? And it's terrible, you know. Look, don't judge me. Now we know that Derek is a whole rapist up in this whole thing, but he's reformed and all of them things. But at the end of the day, he's still a bad man. He's a rapist and he tells lies and he just ain't right. But we're not gonna sit around and negate the fact that he was looking scrumptious on that couch. Anyway, but moving on, don't judge me. Okay? This is the thing. Tyler put these people there for us. They are all eye candy. You know that. All the males in this are eye candy for the most part. They're put there for a reason. It just makes it hard to pay attention and keep them in character. But as far as his character goes, he ain't shit. We don't like him. But goddamn, he looks scrumptious on that couch. Anyway, moving on. Y'all shut up. Anyway. Okay, so Derek, so who's this? She says, undoubtedly, it sounds like I'm your daughter. And he's like, oh, well, I want to talk to you. She's like, I'll think about it. I'll think about speaking with you and I'll let you know. You know, he's like, thank you. She's like, I'm not being nice. That's all I got. I'll think about it. Move on. Then we got Rocky and old boy. You know, old boy was screwing Catherine. This was so shady. Now, this part, I said, oh, haters. Haters, 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 baby. This was the scene. Because this is how haters really get down. All this old sideways conversation about nothing. Rocky shows up to old boy. Remember, he's at Wyatt's old apartment. And he's living, right? And he's, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, this, that thing, and the other. And he's like, he thinks they're actually friends. So he's like, you wasn't falling for Catherine, were you? And Rocky's like, oh, no, you know. He's like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah. He said, I'm going to have her switch this apartment. He said, this is all you? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to have her switch it over in my name. He's like, oh, okay. Baiting and leading him into the conversation. And then he says, can I make you a drink? He said, no, I think you should have the drink. Here's where the shade come in. I said, no, he didn't. Like old Queen. I said, you might want to get you a couple of them drinks. Yeah, you didn't hear what happened? And he tells him what happened to Catherine. And we'll say, yeah, you better go ahead and drink all them drinks. Because all this look like it might be ending. You literally came over there to smear that in his face. You were a hating ass bitch. I said, ooh. Now that was the only thing that was in this episode that was really true to life. That because that's how haters actually, that's how they move, and they wonder why they're you know why their karma is so bad, and they wonder why their lives are so misty and screwed up because that's how haters move. Just hateful. I said, oh, you dirty dog. Anyway, so he left him sitting there and he was looking all, you know, simple. I was like, child, it's all right. Catherine ain't dead, baby. It's going to be fine. And he's looking better, had his hair cut, nice clothes on it. You know, well, he always kind of dressed. He didn't dress really nice. Like an old cheap suit. He just was good looking, but he just had an old cheap suit on. He looked better. Now he looked like a little rich boy. You know, she just cleaned it. She cleaned him up for herself, honey. Anyway, back over there at that damn hospital. We got Justin keeps on at Madison, honey. And he's going over there and he tells Madison, I'm going home. And Madison's like, what? Because Madison didn't even want to go in the room. He was trying to get the girl nurse to go in, the female nurse. And he told her, I want Madison. So Madison comes in there. And Justin started flirting with him. And standing in front of him all creepy and stuff. He was like, you work out, don't you? He's trying to help him get dressed and stuff. And he's like, you work out? And he's like, yes, I do. And if you don't stop being creepy, I'm a bench press your ass all over this room. I said, all righty then. Because you know he's mad anyway from when he cracked him on his head when he didn't give him a fair one. And he busted him in his head that time. But yeah, they go through all that. Then Madison tells Justin, you're a good looking guy. If you just stop being creepy, I said, Justin. Not Justin. I'm sorry. Madison. I know you're not flirting back with Justin. So what's wrong with y'all? Anyway, moving on. Brandon. I really hate these little um, isms that Tyler gives. We got Brandon and old boy. They end up meeting up at this little pub. And I know y'all clocked the way the pub was and the music selection was sounding like some drag performance bar. Really, Tyler? How cheap? How cheap? How shady? Listen, for you all that don't know, yes, there are actual little gay pubs and little, especially in city, they're down south. Ain't no pub playing no show tunes and shit like that. It would just be a pub and it would be playing regular music, honky tonk or whatever, what have you. It wouldn't be playing show tunes. That was so cheap, so cheesy, and so it was old gayism. I didn't like it. I was like, Tyler, you just so cheesy. So cheesy with shit. Some fucking show tunes and shit. Said nobody's sitting up there. And then you seen the clientele. You ain't see no drag queens. You ain't see no real fishy boys in there. You see nobody that was like, it was all like very much more masculine gay males. They would not be sitting in a pub with no damn show tunes playing. Anyway, Tyler. Anyway, see, and I'll be paying too much attention. That's why I'll be so irritated because I'll be paying too much attention. I'm listening to the damn music choice, but that's what I do. That's my job. It's fucked up. Anyway, they had this useless conversation, and then he basically told him, "If you get the chief of staff job, I'm gonna kill you." Then he's basically asking Brandon, "Did you have something to do with the whole thing of Candace getting thrown out?" Bullshit. Just bullshit. Then after that, he leaves. Landon, I keep calling him Brandon. Landon is still there, and Landon ends up calling Candace on the phone, and he's like, "Please don't hang up. If I can help you, then I can get my job back." She's like, "Look, I ain't interested." And he's like, she's like, "You probably had something to do with it knowing the way you get down, Landon." He like, "No, no, no. Honestly, I didn't. I'm gonna try to fix this. I'm gonna fix this." And he's like, "Do you believe me when I say I didn't do it? I can help you." She's like, "All right, Landon, whatever, but I ain't interested." He goes, "I'm going to take that as a yes. I'm going to start fixing this." He hangs up with her. He looks over. He goes over and starts flirting with this guy who is clearly not interested. And he asks the guy, like, "Are you gay?" And the guy's like, "Yes, I'm gay, but I don't want to be bothered with your ass, you know?" And he's like, "Okay, well, let me buy you a drink anyway." He's like, "I don't want your drink. I'm just here trying to study." He's going to say, "Damn, you don't even want my drink." "No, Landon, you over here acting like old tramp, all thirsty and shit." And then that was the other thing. It's always, again, another ism. Everybody gay is not thirsty like that, Tyler. And it's always, the conversation. We got Landon. Landon's down here. He's out of a job, got absolutely nothing to do, trying to fix things and work politics to figure out where things went wrong and who's against him and who's against what's going on. And his line that you write is, "I'm horny and I need to get laid." Who the hell is thinking about getting laid when their whole career is in the shithole? Tyler Perry, you need to sit your ass down, for real. You need to go sit your ass down. Anyway, so Landon ends up seeing Scott over in the corner kissing with some broad. So he takes and records him and gets a little screenshot. Then he goes over and busts up on him and it's like, "What you doing in Detroit?" "What are you doing in Detroit?" And I don't know why. That's right. They're not in the South. They're in Detroit. Same. And that's even worse. In Detroit, ain't no damn pub playing no show tunes. Anyway, child, they might have been playing rap, honey. But anyway, so he pulls him over, tells him, "I got a photo. You need to tell me why you're here. Because if not, I'm going to take this and I'm going to send this to your wife and I'm going to blast it everywhere." And he's like, "That's blackmail." He's like, "Whatever. Whatever." And he's like, "Are you here for Charles?" You spying on Charles? He's like, no. He said, look, I don't like you here. Get out of here. And yeah, I don't like you being here. You need to make yourself disappear, or I'm gonna blast this. He said, you used to be nice. He said, yeah, okay. Well, I'm not no more. Now get on. I'll sit up, please. Anyway, moving on. Veronica. Veronica's getting home. She gets home. She gets a phone call from Celine. What's the chances y'all believe that Veronica actually gave Celine her house phone number? Not a cell, not an office number, but her house phone number. Tyler, again, you just don't even think. It's just crazy to me. Anyway, so she does all that. Because remember, Celine didn't work for Veronica. Celine worked for Catherine. Celine will have no reason to have Veronica's house number. And I'm sure, being who she is, she ain't walking around giving nobody her goddamn house number. Anyway, moving on. Next thing you know, there's a whole cast of goons all wearing black. And they just start coming out of everywhere, down the steps. They were all in her house, all in the kitchen. She's sitting on the couch. They just all come. And old boy, the little hood dude, sit down next to her on the couch. And I mean, they're everywhere. There's like 30 of them. And I'm like, now, we know the neighborhood she worked. Ain't nobody see all these damn folks. All these black, and I'm just going to say it, all these black folks rolling up through this neighborhood and nobody seen nothing. Tyler, you don't even think. Anyway, so they all roll up and she told him, listen, what is this all about? This is what I get for dealing with damn goons and thugs. I told you I would pay for the damn funeral. I just got done talking to Willie Watkins and paying for the damn funeral. What more do you want from me? Well, what about my nephews? What about my nephews and a college and money for them? She said, I'm going to start a college fund for those little bastards. I said, oh. He gonna say, those are my nephews. She said, and yes, their fathers are dead and now they're little bastards. I said, girl, she was doing a whole lot. Okay, you got all these goons and ain't nobody put hands on her at all. She's still sitting there talking shit to him. Told him she gonna say, ugh, are all of you all musty? Ugh. She'll say, child, y'all smell like y'all live with roaches and fried chicken and check cashing places. I said, oh, listen, it's just bullshit. The stuff that Veronica says is so out of order, but the attitudes of the people who were supposedly standing in her house, at least one or two of them would have got out of order and smacked the shit out of Veronica, okay? No matter what order they had originally, at least one of them would have gotten out of order and cold cocked the shit out of her. That shit she was talking, but whatever. So they're like, okay, so he tells them, he gives them the thing to go. And then they're leaving. And we see them go out like roaches, just like she said, they climbing over the fence and all this old shit. And I was like, so corny. So corny. Anyway, said, look at them like little ninjas. I said, just a mess. Anyhow, so then there was this one, the one last one leave was a little light-skinned guy. And she looked at him, she gonna say, who is this? And the other guy, the good-looking one, the one she was working with, he's sitting on the couch. And I said, she must be getting ready to give him a little taste, right? Because she always screws her main goons, honey. They always be the good-looking one, honey. So he said, who's this? She will say, yeah. She said, see, you know what? You get yourself, take a bath, get yourself something done with your hair, and you get my number from him. She'll say, oh, yeah, see, I can work with that. I said, oh, no, she didn't, honey. And then the little one sitting on the couch, I think after that, I don't think he wanted to bang her out, so he got on up and he left too. I said, oh, well, you ain't getting none tonight, Miss Veronica, girl. He went on and they left. Child, she gonna sit up there after everybody left and sip her drink and say, see, now it smells like broke ass in here. I'm gonna have to go to a hotel. I'm not about to stay here tonight. I said, A hot mess. Hot mess. And where was the staff? Where's any of the staff? Were the staff tied up or they all went home? Because I thought she had 24-hour staff at her house. She's the type of bitch that would have had 24-hour staff. See, none of it made any sense. Anyway, moving on. So Hannah gets to the house, to the Cryer mansion. And here we go again with the bullshit. Hannah just is able to walk right up to the yellow tape, talk to the police, and say that you work here, and they let her in. Only at Tyler Perry Studios, because that don't work out here in these streets. Do you understand? It does not. She ends up seeing Wyatt in the car, and he's like, I killed him. I killed him. And did y'all hear him say, I killed my sister? I said, and it was real low, because I had to run it back like 3 times. I said, did you just say he killed his sister? But I don't think Hannah even paid it any attention either. And she went on up in the damn house, and child, they got Jim on a stretcher. They're giving him some, so he's alive. His old bastard is alive. They taking him off to the hospital. We get upstairs. Catherine's sitting over on the bed. Now, not only is Catherine's old ass not dead, and y'all know, listen, I'm happy that Catherine ain't dead because I love Catherine Cryer. I live for Catherine Cryer. I like Jim Cryer because he keeps up a bunch of shit. But Catherine Cryer, I like because she groovy, and her and Veronica, they just make the damn story. But stop it. Catherine's not only sitting on the bed, and the only thing wrong with Catherine is her hair is wet. She ain't got no gunshot wound, no nothing. Nothing. He shot above me, and I fell into the tub, and I just kept coming up for air until I heard the police come. So, last season, Veronica was an Olympic swimmer, and she stayed in the water, okay? And now this season, Catherine is an Olympic swimmer as well, and she stayed in the water. Tyler, I call bullshit. Bullshit. When I wanted to see Aquaman, I went to the movies and I seen Aquaman. I don't turn and tune into OWN to watch Aquaman. Cut the bullshit, Tyler. Anyway, so Hannah's like, let me go find out what's going on. She wanted to find out what was going on with Jim. She goes downstairs and you see George, the DA, and he gets the question, and he tells her, we don't know, but he's in the hospital. They took him to the hospital, so they're saying he ain't dead. Then he asked her about this notepad. A little notepad got Benny's name on it, and it said 8 million reasons to get this done. And she's like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. And get out my face. And nobody asking me shit, George. She go back upstairs and she gets the question and Catherine. Catherine's like, oh, excuse me, Hannah, but, you know, I'm a little distraught right now because my son just tried to kill me. And she's like, I'm sorry, I know this is not the time. She's like, Jim's not going to kill Betty. Jim ain't doing nothing to Betty. She's like, okay, so they, you know, thought her thing. And George comes upstairs. And George is like, do you need an ambulance, Mrs. Cryer? This, that, thing, and the other. And, you know, they go through all that. She's like, no, George, I'm fine. He's like, okay, do it. She's like, do what, honey? And the policeman came and said, you're under arrest for the murder of Jennifer Salazar. Child. Now that was good shit. I said, oh, no. And the first thing I thought about is my friends Stanley and Lynette, honey, because they always call Jennifer Salazar Jennifer Salisbury steak. I said, so the Salisbury steak TV dinner that came back up in the program, and they done put the handcuffs on Catherine. You done laid in the water for 22 hours, taking a little breath of air, honey, only to get a pair of silver bracelets that don't match your peignoir set, girl. Your ass is going to jail, honey. I said, Lord have mercy. She told Hannah, call, what's his name? What's the guy's name that she always be dealing with? her lawyer friend, the guy from the bank and the lawyer. What is his name? Damn, I can't even think of his name, but it don't matter. You're going to jail. Shit. I said, oh my God. So Hannah's like, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I said, a mess. No, Lloyd is the guy at the bank. I can't think of what the lawyer's name is that they always call. Just a damn mess, though. The episode was a mess, and the situation with the commercials was a mess. All in all, Tyler Berry, you did a shitty job with season 7, episode 2. The whole thing was a shit show, a complete shit show. We're gonna see you next week and see what. I don't think you can I don't think you'll be able to outdo yourself with it. This was a shit show, my friend.